Okay, to interact to Taraji P. Henson shades Keith Lee. Keith gets backlash. Taylor Swift wanted the Beyonce treatment. This is from the BET Awards. This is obviously old. Like, this happened like 2 Sundays ago, whatever. But I wanted to react to this because, yeah, I mean, everyone and their mom was talking about, oh my god, Taraji P. Henson, she didn't fucking acknowledge Keith Lee or whatever. Oh my god. But they don't realize that influencers and celebrities are 2 different people in 2 different groups. And second of all, how are you supposed to fucking remember everyone and their mom and remember all the seating? The award shows, they switch seats, they change seats every hour, they change things up, like, and I think she was drunk that night too, so I don't fucking know, like, who cares? Like, all the stuff that hosts gotta do anyways, like, okay, mistakes are gonna happen. I don't know, I'm not like trying to defend her bigly, like, I'm not some big fan, but I just think some of y'all are being a little bit dramatic. And, I don't give a fuck if I get hate. I still don't know fucking know who Keith Lee is. I still don't know. This is the first time I heard about him, so fuck, I don't blame her. But we'll see what Expressive says, because she thinks she know all the news.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Impressive channel. Now before I get into this video, I first want to thank Aura for sponsoring this video. Now guys, I used to get loads of spam calls and texts to my phone, and I never knew what to do about it or why they were coming in. I now know one of the reasons why we get this type of spam is because big companies oftentimes do terrible jobs at keeping our data safe. Recently, Ticketmaster was hacked and the data of 560 million users were put, like, there's often nothing. These companies collect all our, or gives it all credit. So I green and one of Keith's 14, they're giving people their flowers, and she did not recognize the popular food critic Keith Lee.
Married, are you? Are you? Hi. How are you? Mr. Keith Lee, I know what you're thinking right now. This is about a 10.9 out of a 10.
Now, the guy she was actually talking to was another popular TikToker named Jordan Howlett, but she mistook Jordan for Keith Lee. And he had to point over and say, I'm not Keith Lee, he's Keith Lee. And you could see Keith Lee and his wife looking super confused, and they laughed it off. It seemed like it was just an innocent mistake. However, it was awkward. It was awkward. And then she proceeded to flirt with Keith in front of his wife.
My bad. You fine too, so call me. Give him his flower.
Now, Keith Lee was not amused at all, because after he got the rose from Taraji, he threw it on the ground, and the Neighborhood Talk actually reposted this. He said in his caption, "Our name will be known in every room it's supposed to be, when it's supposed to be, and how it's supposed to be, with no confusion. God is amazing." And he threw that dusty rose on the ground. Now, Keith Lee did delete this post because a lot of people thought he was angry. So he came back on TikTok to clarify what he meant.
Last night was the BET Awards, and right now it's something on my mind. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, I want to start by saying I am not upset at Taraji P. Henson by any stretch of the imagination. And not only that, in my opinion, she smoked it last night. I don't think for one second Taraji had any ill will or any ill intentions behind the situation. The situation happened the way it did. It is what it is. I made a video last night where I had the rose that was given to me in my hand and I let it fall on the floor. The reason I did this had nothing to do with Taraji P. Henson. The reason I dropped it on the floor is that I wholeheartedly believe that wasn't my rose. That wasn't my rose. That wasn't my moment. It was given to me, but it wasn't mine. And I always say, I don't want nothing that ain't mine. I want what's meant for me, nothing less, nothing more. The entire segment on the production side felt extremely rushed. Not only did it feel rushed, it did not feel intentional, it did not feel purposeful. I'm forever thankful for every room that I'm in. I was more than thankful and more than grateful to just sit there and enjoy the show. Me and my wife, we looked amazing, we felt amazing, we was enjoying the show. I've always spoke about my social anxiety, and for me just to get out and be in that moment was more than enough for me. So to take me and my wife out of our seats, put us in different seats, give Taraji no direction to who we are or what we do, felt extremely unprepared and unprofessional to me. I'm personally a fan of Taraji. I've been for years and I always will be. I love to see her get the recognition that she deserved in that moment and had a platform and a stage that she's always deserved. For this situation to take away from her moment and our moment was unfair to both of us. And another example of this is a picture of my wife has been going around, and it was a small part caught from an entire moment to make it seem like she had an attitude with Taraji. My wife and myself understand the flirting that Taraji was doing was fully improv and fully joke. It was a hard situation for all of us to be in. We fully understand she made it up on the fly. I was there to just enjoy the show. I was invited. No situations in life in general. Never once was I upset that Taraji didn't know who I was. Everything that's for me will be for me. Everything that's for my family will be for my family. Everything that's for you will be for you. When it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to be, with no confusion. I said that last night and that was still misconstrued, and I stand on it 1,000%. Whatever room I'm supposed to be in, whoever's supposed to know me, whenever they're supposed to know me, it will happen how it's supposed to happen. Last night, while I appreciate the opportunity, it wasn't my moment. And that's okay. I'm cool with that. And for every single person that's been on the journey with me and that's still on the journey with me, I'm forever grateful. I appreciate y'all. I can't say it enough. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe.
So that's what Keith Lee had to say. You know, very classy, positive response. Keith Lee is always positive like that. But he kind of called out BET for rushing everything. So the issue wasn't with Taraji. It was really with BET and their production team. They kind of mixed up the seats and kind of threw Taraji P. Henson off. So basically, he was putting the fault on them. He did not blame Taraji whatsoever. However, Taraji clapped back at Keith Lee and she said, life really too short for this behavior. He wasn't in his seat. They give celebrity assigned seats. I rehearsed all day to go hit my mark, and that young man wasn't in his seat, so he missed his moment. His ego is hurt. He'll be fine. I cleaned it up at the end of the show. No love lost here. Now, I don't know exactly why Taraji had to respond this way, because he literally said that he did not blame her. He put the fault on the team. So I don't understand why Taraji sounded upset with him. I don't know. It seems like people are trying to test Keith Lee, and I do hope that he doesn't let people get under his skin too bad, because Keith Lee is a fighter. I don't know if people realize, but he used to be an MMA fighter, so he can knock somebody out. Please understand that. But he has rebranded himself as a family man and a food critic, so he has to be poised and he has to keep a certain image, but people keep trying him. There's even a moment where he was walking outside with his team and somebody purposely mistook him for DDG.
Oh my God, I knew that was you, bro. DDG, bro. DDG, bro. DDG, bro. DDG, bro. DDG, bro. DDG.
I get your content.
DDG, bro.
I get your content.
I thought you was DDG, bro. I thought that was DDG, bro.
I'm sorry.
Now, this was a joke. The comedian Gerald Huston was trolling him, but you can see Keith Lee got a little upset. See, people are really trying to get under his skin, and now that people see that he can be a bit sensitive and a little upset at times, they're going to start poking, and the tone is slowly changing on him. A lot of people are starting not to even like him. And there are some people who see his temperament and see how sensitive he could get, and they'll just poke and poke and poke just to get a reaction. They want Keith Lee to go viral for doing something crazy. So I really do hope Keith is mindful of this and he doesn't get too out of character. Y'all leave Keith Lee alone. Leave Keith alone. He don't do nothing but review food and be around his family. So leave him alone. Now, moving on, I want to talk about this. I found this very interesting. Now, there's a podcast called Backfuel, and they were talking about the industry and how Taylor Swift has so much leverage and so much power. In fact, it was alleged that she demanded that her label, Universal Music Group, put their artists' music back on TikTok after they threatened to
You don't want the whole world to know how sick you are.
This girl can cause a lot of problems for us.
You've gone too far. What did you do?
take it off. And she allegedly did this because she wanted to benefit off of TikTok the way Beyonce did.
Well, Taylor Swift is one of the most powerful people. We was there when...
Then who cares if you like my song?
Yeah, when she told Universal Music Group, make sure you fix the relationship with TikTok.
Taylor Swift is probably one of the toughest niggas in music business, right?
Absolutely. Because when people were surprised when they said Universal Music Group has resolved with TikTok, I was like, oh, we knew already when she was in that meeting, like, yeah, I got to fix this. She said she wanted what Beyonce got. Yes.
And she was like, if y'all don't fix this TikTok situation,
She got a lot of money at this
and I don't
point,
get what
right?
Beyonce had on her rollout. She said Beyonce's not even with a label, and look what TikTok did for her. Fix that shit, or else I'm not putting my album out.
That's it. That's that.
I mean, she makes so much
that's
money
serious
from
power.
streams.
So this is what was being alleged. They said that Taylor saw how TikTok helped Beyonce's album Renaissance. You know, a lot of the music off of Renaissance was going viral on TikTok, which is why Beyonce didn't really need to put out any visuals because the music was doing well on its own. And Beyonce is still signed to a label. She signed to Columbia Records, but she made her label a lot of money with her streams and her tour. Her tour was one of the highest selling tours of last year. But her music did get a huge boost with the help of TikTok. And I think Taylor saw that, and Taylor wanted that. Now, TikTok is not going to necessarily make or break an artist like Taylor because her music is successful regardless. However, Taylor knows how powerful TikTok is. She's not dumb. She knows that it's very helpful for artists. And she was going to release her album, The Tortured Poets Department. So she needed that TikTok boost. She needed some help from that. So in order for her to release her album, she had to make sure that her label reached some agreement with TikTok to make things easier for her rollout. So I can actually believe that she had a huge influence on Universal Music Group's decision to partner with TikTok again, because Taylor Swift is a powerful woman in the industry, very powerful woman. She brings in a lot of money, and she has enough leverage to call the shots and advocate for herself and other artists. So I could believe that she called up the UMG headquarters and told them to fix their situation with TikTok. I don't know 100% if that's how it happened, but I could believe that she had an influence on their decision for sure. But I do hope that the industry doesn't eventually turn on Taylor for having too much power, because you know how they do artists who get too big for their britches. Anytime an artist gets a little too much power and calls the shots a little too much, the industry has a way of humbling them. I mean, look at what they did to Drake. None of that is a coincidence to me. But anywho, tell me what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Okay, that's the end of that video. His response didn't make no fucking sense. I'm sorry. He said that he put the flower on the floor because it wasn't for his moment. Like, it was your moment. She handed the rose to you. You literally were on TV. Your name was on the card she was reading. Whose moment was it then? Like, the video didn't make no sense. And why is he saying she's unprofessional? It's just an award show. And she had to, like, look at the card, and maybe he was in the fucking wrong seat. I don't know. I hear these award shows, they gotta change seats every hour anyways. So it's a fast-paced type thing. You ain't gonna be all these... If something goes wrong, it's gonna confuse somebody because it's fast-paced. BET award show. But the whole thing was a mess anyways, so, like, just acting entitled is stupid as fuck. Like, who cares? And saying like, oh, it was not my moment. Motherfucker, it was your moment. Like, that's who it was for. Like, Keith Lee is your name, right? Yeah, it was your moment. And his wife looked mad as fuck. Saying like, oh, my wife had no attitude. It's like, she made a fucking stank face at her. Like, she did this. She was doing something with her eyes, looking mad as fuck. I can't even do it. Nah, she looked mad. But yeah, a lot of people are talking about it on TikTok about, oh, she flirted in front of him and she's unprofessional. It's like, bruh, that shit can just be in the card. Some people read off a script. Maybe the script says to flirt, and if it doesn't, then who cares? She ain't really doing that, really. I mean, maybe she is, but I doubt she fucking really wants to DM with her number after the show. She didn't do all that. She's just reading off of a fucking card, or she's just making jokes on TV. It's not that deep. And then the Taylor Swift thing, who cares? I'm sorry. I don't care. Beyonce, I mean, she already was doing good when she released The Country, the whole Renaissance. Like, yeah, TikTok helped it get higher up, help to get more numbers, whatever. But I mean, she's just a big artist as it is, so I highly doubt if Taylor Swift didn't have, like, TikTok wasn't a thing and Taylor Swift released something, I highly doubt it wouldn't blow up. I mean, she can release fucking peaches and cake and shit's gonna be eaten by any of her fans. Like, it's not the end of the world. She doesn't have to get every little thing, have to be on TikTok, have to get a Facebook ad partnership or some shit. Like, who cares? Like, she's just gonna do fine without it. But I could get why she could feel like it's not fair if Beyonce got it, but I don't know how the industry works. Maybe somebody liked on the board, payroll, wanted her more. I don't know. I don't know how that works. All I'm saying is, like, she would be fine even if without the TikTok. Like, she releases lots of stuff and it gets lots of views, so, I mean, I get her frustration, but she will be fine. But back to the BET Awards, that whole show was a fucking mess. That night was bad, I'm sorry. I saw clips of it from TikTok. I didn't watch it because I never watched those shows. But the Usher tribute was fucking ass. I'm like, and Usher picked the performers, which is the crazy part. He picked Keke Palmer. He picked who else? Childish Gambino, I think. Some of them that he picked were fine, but some people, I'm just like, you had a bunch of R&B singers, and some even in the audience, and you didn't pick none of them? Like, I don't give a fuck if they're 50 years old now and they're old as hell. Like, some of them, pick some of them. Like, why is Keke Palmer singing? She's talented, but like, or Childish Gambino, I'm like, why is he singing? Like, get someone that's like more like nostalgic or some shit. Like, these new age singers, it's like, I don't know. I just wasn't impressed with the shit. And then Ice Spice was there, shaking her ass, whatever does she always does. All her fans, loving all her shit, loving all her songs, whatever. And then they had Gorilla, other rappers, I think Meg or something. The other people did pretty good that night. Not everyone did bad. It's just the Usher tribute was a big ass mess. I was glad I wouldn't even spend money to go there in person. But yeah, the drama with the BET Taraji thing, who cares? Like, some of y'all taking this shit over to the fucking GoFundMe pages and shit. It's not that serious. Like, okay, next subject. But yeah, I'll see you on the next video. That was it for this one, and